check one, check two. Sorry. Yeah, I was just checking. But like, we are talking about Timothee Chalamet today. It's very odd. Like, why is it? I feel like, like even when I was talking about the Cynthia and Ariana thing, why is there so much hate right now? Like, there's so much hate going on, and then everyone's talking about how Timothy is like, the word they're using is lobotomized, I'm sure. Yeah, they're using lobotomized, and they're saying because ever since he started dating Kylie, that like he's different. But for me, he seems the exact same. And then also he's obviously just been on the Could Have Been Could Have Been record, so with Drewski, and obviously I feel like he just seems to be the exact same. I don't know if maybe, this is what I mean. It's hard to sometimes talk on situations like this because sometimes you think, oh, maybe it comes from a place of bias, but I generally don't think that I don't think that it's bias. I think that it is genuinely common sense, and like I think a lot of these things usually are. Like, I think even when I wrote my article actually about Cynthia and Ariana, I was like, I titled it isn't wokeness. It isn't wokeness. It just isn't stupidity. And I meant that in the way that a lot of the time when it comes to like hating people or how social media does it anyways, is like everyone just piles on together, but they all just follow each other like a sheep mentality. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody really does the work or wants to make distinctions, right? No one wants to be like and be the person that says, oh no, that's not right, because then of course, like I was saying in that article, people will point the finger and automatically call you woke. But I don't really understand, like, again, what the Timothy thing is about, really. Like, the guy has just always been like the way that he has, and the way that he's always a bit quirky, he's a bit weird. Like, that's actually what makes him really lovable. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes him really lovable to me anyways. Okay, so if you go on Google, okay, so it breaks it down like this, right? It says that Timothy has faced scrutiny being named White Boy of the Year, and that it says he's been criticized for alleged arrogance and polarizing views on his acting in Marty Supreme, and public criticism regarding his dating life and appearance. And it says in December 25, he received backlash for comments perceived as dividing on black culture. He has faced criticism for appearing cringy or arrogant in media appearances. Also, on top of this subject, actually, I needed to watch a YouTube video. So I needed to watch It's Keisha. I don't know if anyone really listens to her, but I needed to watch her YouTube video on the matter, because I was obviously like, I in my head, I generally don't know where this is all like, where it's all come from, in the way that, because one thing where it brings me to, or what it brings me to, is obviously when everyone was angry at him for saying that he wanted to be one of the greats. It brings me back to there, but I don't generally know what else could be the problem, like as of now, what anyone would really have an issue with right now. Or then they might still, again, like I said, it's either that speech or it's either him dating Kylie as well. So if it's both of them, then that's fine. But as I said, I don't know what would be the other thing. Yeah, so then there's another subheading on Google that says, so acting in projects. It says some critics have described his acting as unremarkable, arguing he is overhyped. Others criticize his assertion that Marty Supreme was his best performance, creating a divide in public opinion. I mean, all I can say on that heading itself is obviously I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet. It's not out for us in the UK anyways, and I feel like, there's been screenings here and there that people have been doing, but I don't get invited to those. Do you know what I mean? If only I could. Everyone pray for me. If only I could. And then I also missed the pop-up as well that was on in London, because obviously, well, first of all, not even like I missed it. Well, then, you know what's funny? I chose to miss it, and that's okay, because I think what I was thinking when I saw the whole pop-up, I was like, I just know what's gonna happen. And like, I've gone to pop-ups before, not to say that they've been bad, but it's just like you don't necessarily get much out of them, if that makes sense. Like, when you go to a pop-up, like, you really want to be able to get something out of it, and something good. Like, actually, no, the one pop-up I went to was when I met Kalani. So yeah, that was the only one time which I really enjoyed. All the rest, and then I also went to the Rex Orange County pop-up as well, and that was okay. I suppose it was all right, but I just mean, like, again, all the other recent ones haven't been that great. So I really, in my head, thought, like, I know that people went to his pop-up and some didn't get jackets. I think people got to see him, maybe some people didn't, but I did see a lot of videos that he was there, which is great. But, you know, then you just would have seen him for a short moment. And then I know I saw someone's video on TikTok where, like, where she asked Timothy to say hello to his mum. Or say hello to her mum, sorry, which he did. But again, that was it. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, like, I don't know. And I think, obviously, the title that I'm thinking of for this episode is titled, Timothee Chalamet, White Boy of the Century No Longer. I mean, I don't know, because that's the way that people are acting. I know that in a way, he wouldn't change in my eyes, if that makes sense. And the only other time, I remember one time when I doubted him, because when I say doubted, like he's my best friend, but like I mean like the one time when I was like, it was obviously when he did that joke when he was on SNL. Everyone knows about that. So not even the one when he did Skeet with Pete Davidson, not that one. The other one when I think people were upset because they thought it was quite racist. But again, when I saw that time, I was like, that wasn't really his fault, because again, it's SNL and the jokes are like, do you know what I mean? The jokes are high. Do you get it? It's even like when SNL did that like joke, I guess not too long ago, when they did that joke regarding Amy Lou. Yeah, regarding Amy Lou Wood on what was that show again? I never watched it, but everyone knows the show I'm talking about. But when they did that joke about her, and then obviously that was when they went too far. But SNL has, like, you know, it has that playground or also rule book, so it does have, like, it's known for that. You know what I mean? It is known for, what's the word, over the line jokes. So that was my thing. I was like, do you guys think that Timothy came up with that joke? I was like, no. So like, let's move on. But like, it's because, you know what I mean? Like, people, I guess sometimes people want to cancel people for the most like minuscule things, but then they don't want to cancel people for like really huge things. We're like, cough, cough, Chris Brown. But yeah, like, nobody wants to really cancel people for things that they really need to get cancelled for, right? People want to really just, what's the word? Yeah, scrutinize and like, yeah, and just put a microscope over it, I mean. So yeah, and that's what I mean. That's exactly what they did with his great speech anyways, with him wanting to be one of the greats. I don't know why that speech in the first place had got any backlash, because he basically made an ode to other celebrities in the Hollywood industry, and which is all great and lovely, you know what I mean? So it's not even to say like exactly his speech could come across as, what's the word, humble, because lots of actors or actresses do that. Do you see what I mean? Sometimes they come across a bit like, you know, me. Like, take somebody like, I don't know, Adrian Brody. Oh, he's the worst. But like, exactly, you know, Adrian Brody, he's a good actor, but he's a horrible guy. So it's like, yeah, like, take someone like him. But I feel like with Timothy's speech, it was like, it really wasn't that deep. Like, he came across fine. Like, he literally said, I feel like I forgot the big names he mentioned, but probably, I think, did he say Viola Davis? He was like, people like that. And then everyone wanted to say like, it's pretentious, and they were like, why did he say that? And we were like, why wouldn't he say that? Do you know what I mean? Why wouldn't he say that? Like, people don't know, obviously, Timothy was also a child actor, but nobody really knows that all that well. And then he only recently obviously got like acclaim, like only really now, like, as in, he's only gotten acclaim since he was in like Beautiful Boy and like all these other hits. But obviously people know him, do you know what I mean? Like, they know him because he used to also have a very, what's it called? He had a very vast internet personality. So exactly, his reputation is also surrounded by that as well. So people would know him for many different reasons. But it's like, I just mean his big blowout was not until all these different big name films like Beautiful Boy and Call Me By Your Name. So it's just very like, you know, of course somebody in the beginning stages would say that they would like to be a great, and I don't see the problem with that. This thing on Google also says that that his relationship with Kylie Jenner has caused tensions with his friends. I mean, how do they know that? This is what I mean. I'm always like, don't believe everything you read on Google. I'm like, how do they know it's caused tension with his friends? Moving on though, it says it's caused tension with his friends, and that has caused a negative shift in public perception. And then he has faced at times intense negative focus on his physical appearance, which fans have described as disgusting behavior. I never heard of this. And then Jennifer Lawrence previously mentioned being annoyed by his excessive enthusiasm on the set of Don't Look Up. What do you mean? That he was overly happy? I don't understand. That last one, guys, that last one has to be a lie. This is what I mean. I feel like when you go on the internet, there's a bunch of propaganda all the time. Like, you can never really cipher out the good. But, like, I don't really know. I don't agree with that last one. Anyways, before I touch on a bit more stuff, because I actually want to challenge myself to finish this up in about 15 minutes. Let's see if I succeed. We don't know yet. But then I'm just going to see. I just found a Medium article that says Timothee Chalamet must be stopped. And I don't know if I want to read it though, because, you know, again, like when I think to myself, when you try to talk about something, and I feel like maybe it's kind of journalistic of me, but it's like, why would I want to read something again that would probably shine more light on the fact that I guess he deserves to be hated? Not that anyone does. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I meant not that anyone does, because this is the very weird thing. Like, people, we all know, as in people, there's a difference between people who deserve to get hate and people who don't. And I meant it's a very clear one. So you guys are going to be like, oh yeah, you're saying to hate people, but you all know what I mean. Take Charlie Kirk. That's a person that you hate. Take Trump. That's a person that deserves hate. Like, you know what I mean? There is a very clear gap, and everyone knows where it lies between. You know, like, everyone knows what the gap is. So that's what I'm saying. And then that is my also thing, and that's probably my whole conclusion. Like, as if I was to write an essay about this, generally that would be my that would be my conclusion. Like, I would come to it and I would be like, you know, I don't know what is the reason. And then I would also just say that, like, I think maybe my wrap up thing, and I guess even when you're doing something like a debate and it's like you want to come to your closing statement, I would basically just come across and say that social media likes to choose people to be in the limelight or be in the line of fire. And I guess, you know, he's the guy that they decided to choose this time. And again, like, even again with the Cynthia and Ariana situation, they've chose them, you know what I mean? And they've chose them, and I'm sure they'll continue to do it. So that's why, I mean, they're just choosing Timothee as that right now. Okay, so I think there's something about the back culture thing, which I will then touch on. And then I'm thinking I can do the 15 minutes thing. I can do it. So, okay, I was reading the statement that he made anyway. He said, I want to be respectful and all that. You're supposed to say blah, blah, blah. But really, I'm just a fan. You know, I'm a fan of black culture and hip hop and all of it. Yes, we know that. And everyone knows that. Like, I think that's what people are upset with him about as well, actually. I did actually just see that again, actually, when I saw it on Could Have Been Records. And I think he was singing some song. And then I saw in the comments, people were like, oh, he's singing it wrong. And I was like, oh, so we're going to get told off for singing lyrics wrong now? Like, I was like, people can't make mistakes? Oh, that's so interesting. I also think, like, again, if this is what it's about, okay, so obviously that's what I mean. I found that Unilad article, and I think it was written like 2 days ago. So I'm thinking that obviously may be why people are upset with him. And if that is the case, then for me, I would really want people to look at him as a person and see that, yes, he is very much respectful of black culture. And then not even to say, I was gonna say, you know, the classic cliche line, we said he has black friends, but we're not even gonna do any of that because that's not necessary. Like, you know, because exactly that is what a racist person will say. a racist person, yeah, and we'll know that they are. So a racist person, so, okay, I've gone over the 5-minute mark, but this is what I mean. I'm touching up. Do you know what I mean? I'm making my little tweaks and closing statement. So like a white person exactly will come across and be like, oh yeah, I have black friends, I can't be racist. But the fact of the matter is that generally, like, I'm telling you, like with Timothy, like, yeah. But then again, we can't say if he is or he isn't, you know? Because this is what I mean. Again, with the whole thing of celebrities, and I've talked about this before, like, or ever since I started my pop culture segment, but like, as in like, do you know what I mean? We can't say what celebrities do because we don't know. Like, if Timothy says the N-word behind closed doors, we would not know anything, you know? And in your head, you probably think that maybe it wouldn't be surprising also because it's the classic stereotype though. That's what I mean. So maybe people are looking at it like that. They're thinking, yeah, this guy who's so into black culture, he has black friends, maybe he might possibly be an Oreo, and that's probably where it's pointing in that direction. But that doesn't mean it's automatically the case because, of course, where my point is leading to is that, like, you know, you've seen him do, like, Nicki Minaj, what's it called? Rara Like a Dungeon Dragon. You've seen him... do the, like I said, actually, the Pete Davidson skit. What else? I was going to say Statistics, but then again, like, yes, Statistics, kind of, that's him rapping. I'm just saying, all of these points that I'm making is that I do think he generally has a love for it. And again, what I was then saying about the, like, maybe of if he would say the N-word, it would be a thing where we'd actually have to, like, you know what I mean? We would have to actually see video evidence of him actually saying it. Then if we start saying, oh yeah, what if he says it? Then that's all like assumptions, you know, it's all like accusations. There's no like concrete evidence in it, so we can't really use that. You see, this is me coming at it with a journalistic lens, as you do, because you have to assess things like this, because you can't automatically just say that yeah, you can't automatically just say, oh, someone is this or that or whatever. And then I think obviously I feel like people are using it as a reason to just hate him and obviously say that he's insufferable. And maybe people have always thought he was insufferable, so that's why they're using it now, you know? That's what I mean. I don't really think that, like, exactly. I think in my head, I'm thinking, would it really matter what Timothy says? No, because, you know, they exactly, like I brought up about the speech, they've been hating on him, like, since then, like, way before that, you know, he obviously had no problems. Like, I think before the speech, before him dating Kylie, you know, he generally didn't have any problems. Like, there was no mention of him in any kind of, I don't know, in any kind of article, and not in any kind of negative way. But this is what I mean. So I'm saying to you, like, yeah, like, I'm just saying that there's a trigger, and I think that, you know, when hate does start, that's what I'm saying, which obviously I was talking about in the episode before, is that when hate starts, you know, it's just a thing where people will obviously decide to come up with anything to really track you down even more. You know, that's what I mean. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what you do. Not really. So what can he do, really? I mean, look, I didn't even finish it in 15 minutes, but I think that's generally my closing statement. I would really actually, yes, I think it would be great to to actually have a chat about that. And also, I will say this, because I am actually a part of a Yap Club, so I will say that, like, that I do think that could be a great subject. And I obviously now, having spoke about this, now I need to obviously watch the Keisha video, which obviously I would like to, you know, I would like to see if, you know, what I found is the reason, and then also I want to see, you know, what the other possible reasons could be as well. But again, as I said, I made my closing statement. And again, I think if I'm coming at it also with a journalistic lens, I'm not going to say whether or not, like, you know, yeah, I'm not going to say whether he's guilty or not, because that's what I mean. Journalists don't do that. You know, they give you facts and they tell you things that they think that you should know. But if I say to you, oh yeah, I generally don't think that he did it. Like, of course, that's how I started this out. But now that I've come full circle, I said no. I won't say that on record, guys. I think it would be best if I just, leave you guys all the points that I've raised. Leave you with all of them. Come up with your own opinion on the matter. And that's all we can really do. I wish him the best. And I'm really excited to see Marty Supreme as well. And again, I think they said something about, Marty Supreme's possibly his best. I don't think I would necessarily say that though. Like, even if I watch Marty Supreme, I don't think that's gonna happen because, like, as someone who likes Timothee's work, I don't think that I would say that Marty Supreme is his best work because I have a lot of his other works that are my favorites. So it's not gonna, like, even though it's not to say that when you have a favorite work of somebody's that it can't change. It can, but I see it like very unlikely though. Like, my top two are like Dune and Call Me By Your Name, and it's very hard to and actually and Little Women as well, but it's hard to really like shake those down. And I feel like also with Marty Supreme, maybe it might not really like hit with me, seeing as he is playing like he's literally playing an actual figure, not to say, and a real life figure at that. So not even to say that, of course, he played Nick in Beautiful Boy, and that's a real life person. But I just mean, like, because he is, can I really make that much of a say on it? Because even A Complete Unknown, that's another biopic that he did, and again, I thought Complete Unknown was like, I thought it was good, but I don't know Bob Dylan enough to really say he did fantastically on that. Like, when I left Complete Unknown, I was just like, oh, I love music, and I was like, oh yeah, I listened to Bob Dylan's music like a little bit. Do you know what I mean? That's all I kind of left with it, but I didn't think like, oh yeah, he did like amazingly. I can't make a deduction on that. So that's all I can say really. I don't know if it would be the best, but I do like, I guess what's happening with Marty Supreme and how big it feels, because as I said about the pop-up and there were so many people there and everyone was showing out for Timothee. I think that's all great though. I think that's all wonderful because obviously it shows that like people care and like, he's a great guy and all, everything like that. But it shows that people care about his acting. But yeah. That's all I got today. That's all I got. 20 minutes. I did well because I wanted to do 15, but I did 23, so it's okay. I mean, it was supposed to be a challenge. I wanted to do like a really 15-minute spitball and then just drop mic, but obviously it wasn't that. But it was still semi-same, still semi-similar. So thank you for listening, and bye.